Welcome to Tired Old Queen at the Movies. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, Johnny, it's July. And I thought, what better movie to do in the heat of the summer than Richard Brooks's production of Tennessee Williams' Cat on a Hot Tin Roof from 1958, starring Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman, Burl Ives, Judith Anderson, Jack Carson, and Madelyn Sherwood. Now, this was taken from the Pulitzer Prize-winning play by Tennessee Williams, which was directed on Broadway by Elia Kazan. And when they were doing this play, Kazan was responsible for a lot of most successful plays on Broadway on that time. And he made Williams go in and rewrite the third act, which made the whole play work on Broadway. And Williams always resented him for that. So when it came time to do the movie, Kazan said, all right, I'm not doing it. And so he was out. So they brought in Richard Brooks. The play is basically about the Pollitt family. Big Daddy Pollitt, who has this big mansion in the South, has come back from a cancer scare, and which he's told he doesn't have cancer, and they're going to celebrate his birthday. And there's his wife, Big Mama, and his two sons, which are Goober, played by Jack Carson, with his wife, played by Madelyn Sherwood, who's just like a baby machine. She just keeps churning out. And then there's Brick, who is played by Paul Newman, and his wife, Maggie, who are estranged at the moment because of something, and nobody knows why. Brick has resorted to alcoholism.
Quitting work, devoting yourself to the occupation of drinking, breaking your ankle last night in the high school athletic field.
He is just holed up. He was the hero, the great love of the family, his parents' favorite, and there seems to be some dilemma about his friendship with his college friend Skipper. And there are homosexual implications throughout this whole play. What was really their relationship? And Maggie keeps trying to bring it up because he won't sleep with his wife.
I get so lonely.
Everybody gets that.
He evidently walked in and caught Maggie and Skipper in bed in an unsuccessful coupling where she was trying to prove that he was not a good friend and he was trying to prove his manhood. That's within the play.
You're just trying to whitewash it.
I'm not. I was trying to win back my husband. It didn't matter how.
There's also an estrangement between Big Daddy and his sons because May, who's been turning out heirs to the fortune that's going to be when Big Daddy dies, has been pushing her husband Goober to, because he's the firstborn, to take the son, and Goober's just not the favorite.
You don't even know their names.
And he's always been left out. He's at the mercy of this nagging wife all the time.
Goober is your firstborn. Well, he always had to carry a bigger load of the responsibilities than Brick.
And Brick is ignoring Maggie, and Maggie wants a son. She knows that he's the favorite son, and if they can have a son, it's going to be great.
You're a drinker and I'm childless. We gotta beat that plan. We just got to.
So this is all the conflict that's going on. On Broadway, the play was cast with Ben Gazzara and Barbara Bel Geddes and Burl Ives. Burl Ives, that part was written for him. Up until then, Burl Ives had been primarily a folk singer. And Williams wrote this part for him, and he was so good that they cast him in this movie. Brooks, as a director, concentrated more on the plots of this one and Sweet Bird of Youth. And to a degree, the plots are tawdry. The plots are not really the interesting thing about these shows. He didn't bring forth, as Kazan brought forth, the poetry of the Williams language, the Williams dialogue. He wasn't so interested in that. He just wanted him to show the sort of steamy, shocking domestic side.
You know what I feel like? I feel all the time like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Then jump off the roof, Maggie, jump off it.
Well, of course, they took the homosexual references right out of the play and they watered it down. And Newman was really, really disappointed that they did this, but that was the way it goes.
Cuba is the only thing that I got left to believe in. And you are dragging it through the gutter.
No, just
you are
a minute.
making it shameful and filthy, you.
Elizabeth Taylor, on the first day of shooting this, her husband, Mike Todd, was killed in an airplane crash. He was killed in a plane called the Elizabeth. And Taylor showed up for every single day of the shoot and did it. And Newman was always in awe of her. Everybody was, that despite the fact that her husband had just died tragically, who she really, really loved, she showed up and finished this movie.
What is the victory of a cat on a hot tin roof?
Just staying on it, I guess. Long as she can.
Jack Carson, always one of the great character actors in movies, plays Goober, and he breaks your heart. You know, he's always trying to, Big Daddy, now I'm your firstborn, you know. I mean, I should have some recognition.
I don't give a damn whether Big Daddy likes me or don't like me or did or never did or will never.
And Burl Ives is ruthless. Burl Ives says, I'm gonna live. I thought I was gonna die, but I'm gonna live. I've had enough of this lies and mendacity. Lies, my God, woman. And he tears into everybody, right?
Didn't you notice a powerful and obnoxious odor of mendacity in this room?
Big Mama's played by Judith Anderson. And he's really mean to her. He's terrible to her. He's terrible to his whole family.
Oh, that's just his manner of talking. He don't mean it.
And they're all the time that this birthday celebration is going on, Goober and May's kids are nightmares, pudgy little brats. Maggie calls them the no-neck monsters. I've had it with those no-neck monsters.
Now, why did you call Gooper's kiddies no-neck monsters?
Because your brother's children got no necks, that's why.
And May will always get them together. Sing happy birthday to Big Daddy. Sing happy birthday to Big Daddy. Madelyn Sherwood is wonderful. She's just like the most obnoxious person.
Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, a sunbeam, a sunbeam.
And the tension builds up until finally Maggie just locks Brick in and just makes him admit that she was not the reason that his friend Skipper killed himself, and that Skipper was not who Brick thought he was. And the implications are there, everything but it's never said that he was gay, but they lead up to that he was in love with Brick. Skipper was in love with Brick, and that's why he killed himself, but it's never overtly said. So it's always a question, like, so why did he do it? He did it because he slept with his best friend's wife. Why did he kill himself? These are all questions that are kind of up in the air.
Ah, you started drinking with your friend Skipper's death. Now that's the truth, eh?
Paul Newman's career really kind of got a lift when James Dean died tragically, because he inherited a lot of the roles that were kind of scheduled to go to James Dean. This got him his first Oscar nomination, and it got Elizabeth Taylor her second nomination for an Oscar. And she lost to Susan Hayward in I Want to Live. That was such a heavy year. She was up for this, Deborah Carr for Separate Tables, Roz Russell for Auntie Mame, Shirley MacLaine and Some Came Running, and Susan for I Want to Live. And Susan had won all the awards, so she got it. But the winner of this that year was Burl Ives.
You know, I've got a million different kinds of feelings left in me, and I want to use them. I want to use them all.
But Burl Ives didn't win for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He was also in this big, sprawling Western that William Wyler made called The Big Country that year. And for some reason, and I've never been able to figure out what happened with this, they nominated him for The Big Country, and he won, but he had done both this role and that role the same year. And, you know, it's sort of like, why not give it to him for Cat, which is a much better role than The Big Country? But anyway, he got it.
This was his legacy to me. Nothing at all. And I built this place from nothing.
Williams hated this version of his play. He never thought it was done right. And they've done very many successful productions, both filmed, one with Jessica Lange and Tommy Lee Jones on TV, one with Anne Margaret and Treat Williams. They revived it with Kathleen Turner. They had in the 70s, a famous revival of it with Keir Dullea and Elizabeth Ashley. So it's been revived over the years. Funny story, when I was in college, we did a production. We had this wonderful, crazy guy who was head of the musical theater department, and we did Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And he decided he was going to cast it with two casts, a short cast and a tall cast. Every other night, that cast would play. Well, it just so happened that he had a connection to the actress Mildred Dunnock. Mildred Dunnock, wonderful actress. She was the original Linda Lohman in Death of a Salesman. She played it on Broadway. She did the movie and got an Oscar nomination. She was the original Big Mama in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So she came to our department, and that was the first time I'd ever been close to anybody in movies, any celebrity in movies. And he specifically brought her there, and then he had her watch one of the productions. Well, one of the things he did, besides doing the tall and short cast, was that he got rid of the May and Goober characters. He just got rid of them. He just said they weren't needed, and he took them out. Oh, she went up and down him from one side to the other. She laced into him. How dare dare you do that to Tennessee Williams? Tennessee Williams, who do you think you are? Oh, it was blistering. It was blistering. And I thought, wow, for a diminutive little tiny woman, she had a temper on her.
One more crack, Queenie, just one, and I will not only spit in your eye, but I will punch it black and blue.
Now, hold on.
But this movie is quintessential 50s. It's quintessential 50s sexuality. From the mid-50s on, they were getting more and more sexually explicit. Liz Taylor is in the tightest slip you've ever seen, and her body is astounding. You know, Paul Newman, is walking around just in, like, half the time just in pajama bottoms, and you're dying, And even in the last shot in the movie, he throws a pillow on the bed when he's holding Liz, so things are headed in that direction. And it's just hot, hot, hot. And the chemistry between Burl Ives and Paul Newman is really, really good. And the chemistry between Liz Taylor, there's sexual tension there like you can't believe. And it just works really, really well. I don't necessarily think this is the best version of a Tennessee Williams play, but it is a good one. And you get to see both those people at the height of their game and at the height of their beauty. So to get through the summer, sit back, relax, and watch Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman, Jack Carson, Madelyn Sherwood, Judith Anderson, and Oscar winner Burl Ives in Tennessee Williams's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Ooh.
Let's all go to the lobby.
So were you in the short cast or the tall cast?
I wasn't in it. No, and I was set to play May.
To get ourselves a treat.